Asia. May I now invite Mr. Nikichit Mule, Managing Director, E-Shakti Binary Currents Private Limited, for your 10 minutes.
Hello. Hi, myself Nikichit Mule. Our company is E-Shakti Binary Currents Private Limited, and we are into specialty products from byproducts of edible oil industry. So I want to give an interesting anecdote. Schopenhauer, German philosopher, you might be knowing. So what happened? Schopenhauer was once sitting on a long bench with his beard and wondering what is happening with him. He was in his deep thought. Then a security guard thought him for a tramp. He came and knocked the bench and said, "Who are you?" And then Schopenhauer, waken up from his thought, he said, "I wish I knew." I think this is the condition of edible oil industry today. When the question is different, when we ask them, "What are the margins you are getting?" the answer is, "I wish I knew." So the thing is that where our role comes, we are into making high value products from your edible oil byproducts. So the first product I would like to introduce is the tocopherol concentrate. That is the DOD that you get from soya sun. That is usually from sun you get 2 to 3% toco concentrated DOD, and soya you get around 5, 6, 7 up to 10 DOD. That we take up to 30%, and then we extract phytosterol from it. The thing is that edible oils discussions I have seen are always cornered around increasing the, decreasing solvent losses. Then it is concentrated around what I can say, utility consumption, taking it down. So that's peanut. In Marathi we call it daat korun pot varne. It won't help edible oil industries unless you invest in the future products, which are the concentrated products. I think it's a what will happen is 100 tons you'll make it 200 tons. Turnover will be double, but what about margins? That is my question. So from soya we produce toco concentrated phyto, and then after this is a tree wherein different oil seeds we process, soybean, rice bran, not oil seeds but byproducts from this oil stream. Rice bran we get gamma oryzanol. It's an interesting product. If you see gamma oryzanol, China is world leader. In the world today, I have the stats I think. For soybean, these are the stats. So soybean will go first. Soybean, India ranks 5th in soybean production. China ranks 6th. 6% is China share, 5% is India share. But when top exporters of tocopherol we see, China is 53%, India is mere 1%. Why are we afraid to take the risk? I just don't understand. Next product is rice bran. Again the same story. India ranks 2nd in rice bran crop production. But when it comes to gamma oryzanol, where are our gamma oryzanol producers? So there we come into picture. We make it from edible stream, we take it out some byproducts. From that we get out the gamma oryzanol. Then whatever is left out, like acid oil or whatever the esters and fatty acids, we convert them to biodiesel, or we convert to distilled fatty acids. Next interesting product in our lineup is coconut. Again you can see India is ranked 3rd there. But lauric acid, myristic acid, medium chain triglycerides. If you see the export data, you will see hardly 3-4 players in the that are doing these products. These are not the rocket science products. So I would request industry to think outside. You must be thinking, but it's our proposition that we are doing these products, and these products have a value more than 100 rupees in international market. Whereas edible oil ranks same 100, 120, 130 depending upon which seed oil you are trying to market. Next product is mustard oil. Mustard oil is also one of the neglected products I feel. Again here India is ranked 3rd. But if you see uric acid exports from India, you will only see top 2-3 players doing these products. These are the products I think which are interesting for the next technological development in Indian context if we see. because our idea is that we always depended upon foreign technologies and foreign products to import into India. I think it's our time now. We need to send it outside India. Then Castor is there. Castor, hardly manufacturers from Gujarat have taken lead in Castor. But in Castor production, India is ranked first. So we need to, bring out castor derivatives like ricinoleic acid, methyl ricinoleic, and all other derivatives. Industry needs to have a positive look towards it. Our idea is that we just get oil seed, we'll produce it, take the oil out, and we'll give it to somebody else. Interesting fact I'll tell you, in the deodorized distillate concentration business, there are hardly 3-4 players, but none of them is edible oil manufacturers. So we need to think what is going wrong with this. Then biodiesel. This is the product. Hello. This is the product that we have been doing for 10 years. So this is like a cakewalk for us. But our idea is that we believe in giving facility rather than giving a product. What I mean by that? The facility that can produce biodiesel, the same facility can be used to produce distilled fatty acids. There are different routes. There is enzymatic route, there is hydrolysis. For biodiesel, you can use esterification, you can use trans-esterification, glycerolysis, acid esterification. But the thing is that the facility for biodiesel cannot be, in today's context, if you see, it is not offered as a solution for a different product. Like, biodiesel prospects are not so high. So it is a product for a 3 month. 3 months you get better margins, and then for 6 months, 8 months, you have to struggle for feedstock. But in that dormant period, if the facility can give you different product with similar or higher margins, then that investment is worth it. So that is what we would like to suggest. Then sweet water, that is concentration to glycerin 99.7%. That is also one of the product that we'll be doing. So, and another thing is that we have understood industry through my various discussions with the industry stakeholders. We are fearful that where is the market? Where can we sell these products? So there comes our role majorly. We are not only EPC company in terms of engineering, equipment, direction, processing, but we also give after sales support. After sales support for the plant and machinery is one thing, but after sales support for marketing the products into international markets, realizing the maximum value. Because internationally you need to send samples, you need to get approvals from different players. So we have expertise in that. We have sent our samples globally to China, to Europe. But the thing is that feedstocks was the main problem for us. So that's how we transitioned into EPC. Then these are the processes: distillation, filtration, extraction. Extraction we need to look into a little bit detail, because extractions are always, we have seen that solvent extraction means only putting solvent into the cake and taking the oil out, then removing the solvent. That is there, that is happening, that is one thing. But the solvent like heptane, hexane, acetone, these are the solvents that you can use to further purify your stream of specialty products. That is completely neglected, and there are hardly any players doing this kind of things. So there comes our picture. We are into that segment as well. Very interesting product lineups that we have. Then modification as in as I just now told you, that either you can take ester to fatty acid to triglyceride to fatty acid. So if you want to modify these kind of compounds, or if you want to get a special single cut fatty acid, like in case of DFA, distilled fatty acid, it is a C18 fraction. So if you want to get that linoleic oleic cut with IV 125 plus, there we play a major role. After that, our services. Process simulation is something that cannot be neglected in today's time. I don't think we need to add to it. We are a fairly young company, so this is come by default. Process automation. I know, I'm aware. So heat exchanger design using EDR. Raw material audit we do. Refiners need to remember that if they want to invest in these kind of products and they want to make sure whether this product has that potential, we have facility wherein we can inspect the raw material. We have given sample testing, lab trial, pilot plant, DOD testing for tocopherol content that we have, fatty acid profile and oleo profile of raw material that we can give. And process automation is something, it's dear to me. We do it quite often. As it is written, every drop counts. So I think industry shall consider moving beyond edible oil refining. I mean, that too we need to do. But apart from edible oil refining, we need to think about byproducts. They are not byproducts. You can get valuable products from them. You need to take some big decisions, and we are there, guys. Thank you very much.